Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. Guys, today, I'm giving this man his flowers. They say a man don't get his flowers until the day he dies. And today, this man is sitting here today with me, and I'm giving every bit of the flowers. I'm giving this man flowers, pond flowers, pond flowers, pond flowers. For those who understand my life story, they know that this man right here has played a major part in the man you see today. This is my very, very first mentor, and I didn't know. That's the thing about planting seeds, guys. When you plant a seed in someone's life, you don't know when it will spurt or manifestate, but at the end of the day, this man has never gave up on me. He's always believed in me. He always told me I could when I didn't believe I could. He always spoke life into me. This man has been speaking positive ever since I could remember knowing him. I've known him all my life. I can't recall not knowing him. And I just want you guys to understand. I'm giving some more flowers, guys. You know, this is Minister Shabazz, a very positive man that's made a major point in my life. I have to just give you one more time, man. I'm sorry. You know, this is an honor for me, guys. You know, it means a lot. It's like my life is coming full circle. This is a full circle moment for me. I got to hear you speak the other day, man, and I got to say to you, man, you're amazing, brother.
Thank you, brother.
And why I say that is because you could have went either way, and you've chosen to always stay positive. Right. You know, I must ask before we even get this interview started, growing up in an environment that we know that had a lot of drugs and a lot of negativity, how did you remain so positive?
So basically growing up, I had a lot of mentors. And I feel that sports actually saved my life. So that's one of the reasons why most people know me in the neighborhood as Coach Jackson.
Yes.
Because that's what I started. I started a program called Bunky Beat All-Stars. Yes. One of my mentors, he died of colon cancer in 1993. So I started an organization called Bunky Beat All-Stars Sports Club, in which I was able to mentor so many young brothers, be father figures to a lot of them. And that's how I kind of got myself going. Also, with the teachings of the Nation of Islam under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it kind of gave me the background to be able to want to do something for the youth in the community and keep them off the streets. And I used that vehicle called basketball. And I'm still doing that. Right now, I have a program where I have a lot of young brothers playing. Yes. I'm actually a consultant for the Westbury School District, so it allows me to continue to help the young brothers in the community. And it's my life. I love it. And I love to be able to see young brothers such as Q grow up and be a staple in the community, be a role model in the community, and help pull up young brothers the same way I did when I started out. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here sitting with this brother. And I got to say, I love him. I love him. I love him to death.
Listen, guys, hearing that from a man you respect, right? Mike might have been, excuse my language, Minister Shabazz may have been the first man, honestly, outside of blood related, that told me he loved me. And I'm saying that with all honesty. He might be the first man I can recall that ever said, I love you, and never wanted anything in return but respect. You know, that means a lot. And I don't want to start tearing up, guys, but this man means a lot to me.
It's gonna be a tearful interview.
Listen, it's just being honest. You know, coming from where I come from, we don't have too many brothers like this man. You know, so for me, it's like I got to give the backstory before we get into his story. This man has really played a father in a lot of people's lives. He's definitely been role model, mentor, and most of all, a positive person. You know, I've seen people even try to tear his armor and try to pierce his armor, but he never got phased. Remained solid and consistent with the man you are today. Like how did you do that? Just that alone, right? Because where I'm from, if you're too positive, people don't like you.
Right.
You know, and I'm just being honest. How did you remain unfazed, even at times when a lot of people didn't give you the support that you know you warranted because you've done a lot for these people's children? How did you remain unfazed and say, you know what, I got to keep going? Because a lot of people would have gave up.
Right. So for me, knowing my history and my culture allows me to never give up on my people. Because I know what I know is the potential of our people. So, sometimes from a religious standpoint, you go into scripture and you'll say, and Jesus said, ye are all gods, children of the most high God.
Yes.
So when you hear something like that, that allows you to know that your potential is being on a godly level. So when you know that your potential is on a godly level, only thing you can do is be like God and show and prove that you are God. So for me, I always wanted to give that positive image, and I always wanted to make sure that anything I do in the community, that young brothers and sisters knew that I was trying to be the best role model possible, because I had role models. I had Chairman Vidite.
Wow.
I had Mr. Reed.
Wow.
I had Leon Booth.
Wow.
I had Charles Patterson.
Wow.
I had Mr. Haywood.
Wow.
So I had so many great mentors. That's the reason why I feel like my training allowed me to be the way I am today, along with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
You see the term he used, and I want a lot of people to hear that word. I think a lot of people don't understand the necessity of that word. Is called mentor, right? That word mentor is really valid. Like I told you, this is my first mentor in my life. My mom has always been an influence and an impact in my life. But when you talk about mentors, these are the people who look to elevate your mind, who talk to you and speak life into you even when you're not behaving to the best of your ability. Because he knows I've made a lot of poor decisions and poor choices, but he never made me feel low.
That's right.
And I'm just being honest. And he gave me my first sports jersey.
That's right.
He handed me the ball in my hands and
Right.
and gave me a role of leadership. And it's funny because and you might not even remember. That's why people don't understand how impactful you can be to someone's life. You told me years ago, and I remember it. We was at Westbury. I think it was at the high school or the middle school. You said to me, I'm lying. We was at the building behind the PAL.
That's the Village of Westbury Recreation Department.
You told me you will learn who you are when you learn who you are. And I looked at you like, what do you mean by that? You said, when you learn that you were born to be a leader and you stop following, you'll be a better man. And it hurt me at the moment because I took it as an insult. But now I'm thinking back to what you were telling me was lead and stop being a sheep. And I'm gonna be honest with you. So seeing this moment, that's why I tell y'all don't know what people mean for your life over time, right? And this moment for me is a surreal moment because I understand you now.
That's right.
Like your words really resonate, and I get what you were doing for us at a young age and showing us and giving a great example of what a man looks like, right? And another flower I got to give this man is he's an amazing father, guys. An amazing father. An amazing father. I practically knew his son before I knew his son by watching him, right, and the support you give him and your children, right? But I have to ask the next question, right? What made you want to be such a role model in so many different lives? Like, what made this come full circle? I get that you had the mentors, but some people don't follow suit based on what others done for them. But what made you feel like I have to give back?
Right. So for me, I just wanted to make sure that every young brother, every young sister in the community be successful.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the image that is portrayed in our community is not a positive one.
Agreed.
So I said to myself, let me take it to the pinnacle. Let me show them what a real role model should be. And that's one of the things I just try to practice all my life with adults as well as the youth.
Yes.
And so the brother had mentioned something about he knew my son before he knew my son.
Yes.
And one of the things that I try to do is promote my son heavily.
Yes.
My son, I put a basketball in his hands at 3 years old. And we just work, man. We work. So now my son's title that I give him is Ahmad the God, a top player in 2030, and he's the best shooter in New York. And anywhere we go, he get the Steph Curry treatment.
Yes.
We went to a tournament in Teaneck, and most of the time when I go to my basketball games, we got rings. And I'm gonna tell you something, brother. That was the first time I received a ring for basketball in my life.
Wow.
So I always wear that ring when I'm coaching my son.
Wow. Wow.
That's how heavy it is.
Wow.
And I promote him.
I have a question. You said Ahmad the God. What made you call him a God? I know you told me earlier, but I want them to hear why.
So, people might not understand it, and I don't want to get religious on you.
But it's your beliefs. We have to
Yes.
respect everyone's beliefs, right?
Yes, but because I'm more into black economics anyway. But when I read scripture and it said that God made man in his own image, then what must he be? So from that standpoint, I looked at myself as a God. So then when I had my son, I said, you know what? That's going to be a catchy thing. So a lot of times now, that's what people say. They go, I'm the God, or I'm the God. And when he makes a shot or he does whatever he does, that's his slogan. That's what everybody know him as. So when he gets on the court, man, let me tell you, he's unbelievable. All you got to do is follow us, and you'll see he's unbelievable.
Now this kid is amazing, man. Well, excuse me, let me take that back. Young man now. He's not a kid anymore, guys.
That's right.
He's a young man. And the other day I got to witness father and son full circle moment. As he said, his first ring, I got to celebrate that moment with him, right? Because I stood there and see him receive your ring, right?
That's right.
So I got to see it. So it's kind of a good moment for me also. So you know what was amazing? Like when I see how he represents himself. And this is the positive influence of having such a positive man in his life, right? I'm asking as a man, what do you think is a major necessity or reason into why a man should be in his child's life? Why do you think it's so necessary?
Man, I'm going to tell you something.
Not discrediting women, so I'm just asking for a father standpoint.
So most of the time, a man can only raise a man.
Yes.
And when a you know the amazing thing about my son, I'm gonna tell you something, to give you a little insight. If my son see me sitting on the couch a certain way, yes, if I get up, when I come back, he's sitting on that couch.
Same way.
Right now in our living room, I had my own chair. So it's funny because when I first got that chair, I was always in it. But then sometime, I was like, man, I'm a little tired. I started laying on the couch. And then my son would take that chair. But now that he saw me laying on that couch, when we come in the house, he said, Dad, can I get that spot? So now I got to go back to the chair that I started out sitting in because he wants the couch. And everything I do, he does. He's my twin. And it's just amazing, man. Let me tell you something. My son is unbelievable. Sometimes, he gets caught up and don't want to do his schoolwork, or he gets a little lazy, but I just pull him in and I start talking to him. I said, you are the epitome of what God wants our young people to be.
Wow.
So, your example, I always tell my son this, you are representing God in yourself.
Yes.
You're representing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad in his teachings.
Yes.
And you're representing your family.
Yes.
So anytime you are out there in the world, you have to make sure that you hold everybody up to that level. Wow. So I'm always talking to my son. I'm talking about black economics. I'm talking about you need your own business. I'm talking about don't be a follower. So, and I'm talking about always work hard.
Agreed.
And I tell him, when we get on that basketball court, don't waste my time. Mm-hmm. If you tell me you want to be a pro basketball player and I put you through the ringer, you better be ready.
Agreed. You know, there's something funny. For my guys that's with me all the time, right? They always say to me stuff like, you're straight to the point. And I'm like, that's one of the ways he taught me. Not to be a pushover, but always express yourself as a man. So like my guys, let's say Kinsey, I'm straight to the point with how I feel.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's him, right? And now I've learned that from men like him, right? Straight to the point. A man says how he feels, and you stand by what you say, right? And one thing I've noticed that you just was talking about, and I have to get into this, about black economics. What is the importance of black economics?
So, I have a story. The brother said, I said something to him at the village of Westbury.
Yes.
The place behind the PAL.
Yes.
So what happened was, I worked at the recreation building in the village for 20-something years.
Yep.
Never missed a day of work. And what happened was, my position got terminated. And in the community, a lot of people said, oh, it was because he was preaching that pro-black stuff. I'm not sure if that was what it was, but I just know that after 20 years of my service, they terminated my position. But before they terminated my position, what I did was I wrote a proposal up to the school district to be the sports and academic consultant. And because of my relationship with people on the school board, and they know the phenomenal work I've done in the community, they bid on it and they hired me. And I also at that time started a business on Prospect Avenue.
Yes.
And I want you to think about something for a minute. I started a business with no resources. I opened up the doors, and I'm gonna tell you something about that business, man. One of the most important things with me was when I walked through those doors, and they say, "What? Cue the boss." When I walked through those doors, and I was the boss.
Wow.
And I was the boss.
Wow.
It was the greatest feeling I ever had in my life.
Wow.
So now watch this. I'm gonna take it to you. I opened that up. Every Sunday I preached about black economics because black people have to have their own businesses and be independent.
Yes.
We need our own schools. We need our own land. We need our own hospitals. We need our own banks. We need everything. And a lot of times when you talk about black economics, let me tell you how people view that. Other ethnic groups as well as your own. They view it as something different because when they grew up and was taught in the school, they was never taught that. They were really taught just to be a clone in America. Yes. So what happens is when I did that, everybody had opposition. They was like, "Oh, coach is going crazy. He talking about this, he talking about that." But let me tell you something. When a black man talk about black economics, trust me, it's no racism involved. What it is that this is America, right? And they always say that everybody want to have a piece of the pie. So that's what I was trying to do. So I started this thing called 10 to 12 States Black Economics. It was a concept that I learned from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. 10 to 12 states. What that meant was black people get ourselves together and let's have 10 to 12 states in America. In America that is owned and operated by our people. People thought I was crazy preaching like that. Of course, that's a long-term goal, but let's get one state and start from there.
Agreed.
So then what happened was I opened up the doors. Every Sunday I preached black economics, and every Sunday I fed the people in the community.
Yes, you did.
No charge. I would get up early, make the food myself, because some people don't know, I love to cook. I made the food. I fed all the young brothers in the community. Most of them was my basketball players. And I also had the flat screen TVs up. They could watch the game. They could play their video games. They could do everything, man. Let me tell you something. It was the most phenomenal thing that I ever did in my life. Unfortunately, the community, they couldn't see it. I started jiu-jitsu in there with my brother JB. I had a dance class. I had a basketball camp that I either used the park or the Westbury Middle School. I had a summer camp. And the reason why I had all these things, because at the rec department that I worked at, I'm the one that started it.
Agreed.
I'm the one that started it. So I went there and I'm doing this work for them when I said to myself, no, I can do this for myself. That's black independence and black economics. Unfortunately, our community owed me. And I'm gonna break it down to you. They owe me because they dropped the ball back then. But now you see me rising up again. I'm resurrected. Yes. I'm resurrected mentally.
Yes.
I'm resurrected mentally. So now they see me doing it again. So now in doing that, I'm gonna bring this to it. Black economics. So what I did was I connected with a friend of mine, and it's a black woman. She owns a black-owned water company. Think about that.
Yes.
Think about that. And our relationship when she was in Westbury was, I always looked out for her family. I coached her son. She's the president. He's the CEO. And what happened was I presented to them an opportunity. I said, listen, my son is a bad mamma jamma.
Yes, he is.
Nobody can shoot like him. He is going to be in the category of Steph Curry. When we play basketball games, that's how they treat him. So what I presented to them, you guys need to sign my son to an NIL deal, name, image, and likeness. And let me tell you something. It wasn't even a question. It was like, let's do it. And I broke down to them how we can get it done, and the rest is history. So now, with this water company, what I'm trying to do, because I'm the chief salesperson for Eastern Division. What I'm trying to do, I'm sorry, let me just take see that? Y-O-R. Wikipedia, what it means is your. But when you go Y-O-R, what it means is ownership. Ownership. And as black people, we need ownership. We need to stop being consumers. So what I want to explain to you is that when you go in a store, right? And there's nothing wrong with patronizing everybody. But if everybody, if let me see, it's over probably 50 million black people here in America.
Yes.
If every time you go in a store, and this is not being racist, I want you to understand me clearly. Because over the years, I've helped many people from every ethnic group. Let me tell you this. I can get people and interview them, and they'll say, I help everybody from every ethnic group in my Bunky Reed All-Star program.
I can validate that.
So now watch this. If you go in a store, right, and your son, every time he goes into a store,
Yes.
he gives the black dollar to someone that doesn't look like him, we're not circulating no money in our community. So for me, what I'm trying to do is corner the market with your water. And my goal is with your water is to be the #1 salesperson in the world. Also, my goal is to have everyone in our community, in every community, go around and you don't see any other beverage from any other company. I want to corner the market with your water so that everywhere you go, that's all you see. You don't see any other brand. So let me show you what I did the other day to show you how I always give love back to people in my community. We went to Long Beach MLK Center and we had a game. I made sure that I told my team, we're sponsored with water now. You never come in this gym with any water.
Agreed.
You're gonna have it from me. And then what I did was the team we played, I blessed the coaches as well as their players. We took photos. It's on our page, and you'll see it that I'm not a selfish person. I want everybody to be successful. Then the next game, I stayed for the next game, and I gave waters to that team as well as the coaches. We took pictures, and I gave waters to the referees, and I gave water to the people at the MLK Center.
Yes.
So I wanted to let them know that Coach Jackson, because I'm two people, Minister Shabazz, and I don't trip on that. When I'm coaching basketball, somebody call me Coach Jackson, I'm not going to correct them and say, oh, but when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm Minister Shabazz. When I'm preaching about black economics, I want to be able to get the respect that they say, that's Khalif Shabazz, Minister Khalif Shabazz. So I'm two people, and I'm not tripping on that.
Agreed.
Because everybody that I mentored, they know me as Coach Jackson.
Agreed.
So I have no problem with that. But I just want to let you know that when a black man stands up and wants his independence and he wants his people to have independence, please, I want the world to know we're not being racist.
No, we're not.
Because when you have a school, why don't I want to have a school for my people?
Agreed.
If you have a bank, why don't I want to have a bank for my people? If you have land and you're building industries on it, why don't I want to have that as a black man for my people?
Agreed.
So anybody out there that sees this podcast and say, oh, that brother was being racist, they're not. If they say that, then what it is that they have an underlying racism in them because they don't want to see you become equal with them.
No.
And I'm going to let the brother talk, but I'm
saying facts.
But I'm going to bring something up to you after I get a little bit of your water. I'm going to bring something up to you that you guys don't even know, but I'm going to spark something in your brain when I bring the next thing up.
You know, based on what he's saying and why I'm gonna co-sign everything he just said, and again, as a young black man, if I didn't see or couldn't see someone that looked like me doing greater things, how would I think I could, right? They say the average dollar in the black community stays for no longer than 45 minutes.
Talk
45
about that.
minutes. So what he's saying is our fair share, right? And we're not sitting here saying that, hey, we want to take it from you. But we want to make that little young black kid or that your little young black girl to believe that you are worthy too.
That's right.
Right? And it's unfair when, like he said, if someone that don't agree with that, then their mind is clearly on a different spectrum.
That's right.
Logic is logic. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. I want Hispanics to have their share.
That's
I
right.
want Indians to have their share.
Right.
I want Asians to have their share.
That's right.
But blacks have been suppressed for so long economically, especially with just knowledge of how to, right? So therefore, we're bringing in you a brother who understands that it's about elevation. In order to elevate, we need to control our own economics because otherwise we'll be suppressed and constantly being slaves. And by being slaves, you're not going to allow our children to grow no further than what they can see.
That's right.
Because the logic on this podcast, what we like to say is exposure leads to expansion. The mind will not expand if it's exposed. How can it expand? If I didn't see, like again, if most of the people I grew up around with spoke like him, his knowledge would have never went over my head. My whole mission is don't let that go over your head, is don't miss the message. He was giving me a message and it went clearly over my head because enough people wasn't bringing it down to my ears. So while I was going here, more people should have been pushing it down for my ears so I could hear it. and it could register. But that's why a lot of people drop the ball on him, because we need more people speaking like him, telling the truth, right? And not making it a racial thing. Because I know this brother, there is not a racist bone in his body.
That's right.
Westbury is Spanish and black, right? And he does as much for both, right? And whites also.
That's right.
Because you talking about the PAL. The PAL is in the nicest part of Westbury, right? And Westbury is a very verse town. Very verse. People say Westbury, they think of Newcastle as a very small area in Westbury. But Westbury is bigger, right? But what I'm getting at is this man has always looked to help others think bigger and better, right? And that's just the logic. So supporting a brother like him shows that we're trying to make a move forward. And by him saying corner the market is because I know for every dollar he makes, I know he's going to give back to the community.
Bless the brothers and sisters in the community all day and night.
Now you can go get into what you was about to say.
Yeah. So now I want to explain to you one of the reasons why people in our ethnic group don't support us. Because it's psychological warfare. And I'm going to say this, and I want everybody to understand
yes, it is.
that I'm not being racist when I tell you this. In the 60s, right, when you got ready to go to the bathroom or got ready to drink some water from a water fountain,
yes.
Let me show you the psychological warfare that was done to our people. You would have a water fountain that was dirty, dingy, disgusting, and it said for coloreds only. Then you would have a water fountain that looked beautiful, and it would say for whites only. So growing up in that time frame, the psychological damage on our people is still here. It's in our DNA. So when you see us not unifying, it's because of 400 years of oppression and people telling us that we're not worthy of anything.
Of course.
So now I'm gonna hit you with this, and please bear with me. When you hear me say this, I want you to sleep on it. So we're gonna bring up two people. We're gonna bring up Martin Luther King, and we're gonna bring up Elijah Muhammad.
Yes.
And trust me when I tell you this, we're not being racist. So Martin Luther King had a certain knowledge that he had, and he went for it, and he presented it, and with that knowledge, he was murdered.
Agreed.
And with the knowledge that he had, he preached a certain thing. And I want to ask you a question. Q, you can answer it.
Okay.
Anybody in the studio right now can answer it. Can you name the assets that Martin Luther King had? In other words, when he died, what did he own? Because he preached to integrate into a system that would put him on the bottom.
Yep.
That's what he preached. So anytime he did something, I'll give you a perfect example. And Malcolm used to talk about this beautifully. You want to sit next to someone at the counter at a restaurant instead of having your own restaurant. I remember during Black History Month, this was amazing, man. Let me tell you something. The young brothers in the community, they heed my word. So I had the opportunity to say, we're going to do a thing where we vote on, do we want our own black bus-owned company?
Yes.
Or do we want to integrate into the white-owned company? And you know what, man? Let me tell you something. It was so astonishing. So we had a vote. Everybody was there. We gave the stuff out. They voted. I was up top. And the vote came back that we want to have our own. This is the young brothers. And the reason why they said what they said is because I be teaching them.
Yes.
They said they want to have their own black-owned bus company.
Of course.
You had many ethnic groups in that during that Black History program.
Yes.
And when it came back that we wanted to have our own, it was unbelievable. So I want to tell you something. Dr. Claude Anderson, in studying him, he said back in the days we had black-owned bus companies.
Of course we did.
And what we did was, instead of backing those because of the psychological damage on our brain from going into simple inferior school books, because inferior facilities to use. Because of that psychological damage back then, we chose to integrate, and then what happened was we lost our bus companies. Same thing with the so-called Negro League in baseball. They started taking our best players and taking them to the regular, what is it?
MLB.
Yeah, MLB, and we lost our league because we always looking to the other side when the grass is never greener over there when you stick together. So now my point to you is this. I'm going to ask somebody a question. The first thing I'm going to ask is, what assets or what did Martin Luther King own when he died?
I can answer that easy.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely nothing.
So now, and keep in mind, I want to tell you, sleep on it. We're not being racist.
Did y'all hear that word though? Nothing. We're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Nothing.
So now, I want you to bear with me. And like I said, we're never being racist. We're trying to teach the black nation how to be successful. Elijah Muhammad, when he passed away, the Nation of Islam had a bankroll of $180 million empire. Let me show you what this man did.
Did you hear that number?
180 million.
No, you gotta say it slower because some people don't like to hear, so you gotta do it a little slower for them. Say that number again.
180 million empire for the Nation of Islam. Not in his name, but in the
totality.
Nation of Islam.
The totality. So let me just piggyback on that. That's the only thing and I want y'all to understand is he's telling you that by uniting resources, therefore we able to have more opportunities. In order to have opportunities, we must create opportunities. But here's the narrative. If you keep giving your assets, right, what happens? Then we're deprived of our natural rights, right? I understand that we're in a country that don't want to or only allow us to do but so much, but let's be logical and being fair. We must create a system within a system in order to survive in this system. This system is not in favor for us because it wants us to keep being consumers, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
that's the narrative. The retailers only are, these big designer labels are only functioning because of our support. And the fact of the matter is our lack of support is only hindering us and giving our children better opportunities. So the next generation continues the cycle of poverty, bad education, right? Mental programming. Don't you know there's generational curse? Someone must break it. And what we're trying to sit here today and say that in order for us to change the narrative, we got to change the narrative.
That's right.
We got to respect our money a little bit more. And I'm going to let you keep going because you hot today.
Okay, yes, sir.
You know? But
Your water, we got to plug it in. Your water.
You know? But again, we don't want to speak on these topics because you will always be, if a Jewish guy says today, and I'm not being racist again, I'm just being logical and honest. If a Jewish guy say, hey, I want to open up a Hebrew school so I can enlighten my people to whom they are, is he racist?
Preach on that.
If an Indian or a Pakistani says, hey, I want to open up a facility for my people to learn who they are. And I want to get into that statement. The other day he said a statement about a Pakistani family. They did something at a basketball thing or something, and they gave thousands of dollars.
Oh, so what happened was I work at the Yes We Can Center. And let me tell you something. This was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. At that time, I videotaped it because I wanted to show people in my community that, listen, if they could do it, we could do it. What they had was I guess it's called a Dalai Lama or something like that.
Yes.
So what happened was everybody came to support him. I believe it was about the numbers might be misconstrued, but I'm going to say either it was 300 people there or 500. And it was either every person gave $300 or $500. And they shut down the whole Yes We Can Center. And let me tell you what happened. When they shut it down, I was working. And I was just amazed. And I was like, wow. Because I saw the vision for the black nation.
Yes.
I saw that vision, right? So what happened was when the food came, it was an Indian food truck. Everything was their culture, making money, keeping their money in their own community. Yes. And I was like, wow. This is unbelievable. So now I want to tell you this. I wish I would have brought my information so I could tell you every establishment that Elijah Muhammad had. So first of all, they always had Steak and Take. That was a restaurant. They always had barbershop, Shabazz barbershop. They had their own printing press so they can print Muhammad Speaks newspaper. They had land, farmland. They had the most honorable Elijah Muhammad through his organization. He had a private jet so he can go around speaking everywhere in the world. He was well respected. Now watch this. When Muhammad Ali was alive and talking that talk, America hated him. They hated him. When he got Parkinson's disease and he couldn't speak, all of a sudden they had him come out at the Olympics shaking with the torch. Shaking with the torch. But when that brother was speaking that talk and talking about, I'm not going into the armed services, they hated him. Now, I'm going to give you this. Elijah Muhammad built an empire by teaching his people a simple slogan: do for self and kind. Do for self and kind. And I'm gonna break something down to you. This is the amazing thing. Other ethnic groups
Do that.
believe in that teaching more than Elijah Muhammad's people. Think about that for a minute. So when Elijah Muhammad did what he did, he caught a lot of flack because he had other things involved in it that he talked about. But see, us, we just focusing on black economics. We're not going to talk about any other ethnic group in a negative light. We're going to give every ethnic group their props. And I'm going to tell you something. He brought up a fact. There's a guy, right? He's Jewish, and he has a basketball team.
Yes.
And one day he came up to me and told me something, and I never forget it. He said, you know, your community should be honored to have a person like you talking what you're talking. He said, because when he grew up, his father and his mother told him, if you see a bagel shop right there, you better walk many more miles till you get to that Jewish bagel shop and support that. You better not never stop and patronize anybody else but your own community.
It's the truth.
He said that to me. And he told me, he said, man, as a matter of fact, let me tell you what he did. This is how crazy it is, because when I'm talking, right, and I'm talking this talk, y'all be thinking, oh, that brother being racist. You know what he did? He brought his whole team. He said, yo, I want you to talk to my team. His whole team, all white, Jewish. He took them in the back. He sat them down and said, this guy right here is amazing. And he wanted me to talk to them about stuff. Now think about that for a minute. That's how much respect he had for me. And I have people in my own community that don't have respect like that for me.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you another thing he did. Because when you're coaching basketball, I had every ethnic group coming to that Yes We Can Center.
Agreed.
Listen to me when I tell you this.
True.
Every ethnic group. And I got the most respect out of all of them. And watch this. This guy also called me up when all the problems were occurring, the shootings and people, George Floyd and all that kind of stuff. He called me up to get my advice. Think about that for a minute. He called me up to get my advice. While brothers and sisters in the community was like, man, coach is crazy.
Crazy.
Minister Shabazz is nuts.
The lack of exposure, though.
They didn't understand it. So my last point to make is that, once again, I want you to think thoroughly. When we're talking about building up the black community and we're talking about black economics, we're not against any other ethnic group.
No.
But you know that you say, what is this saying that they have in America? It's the land of opportunity,
Of course.
the American pie.
Of course.
So for us in the black community, we're tired of the crumbs.
Yes.
We don't want no more crumbs.
Yes.
We want a sufficient slice of that pie, just like every other ethnic group has it.
Yes.
And if we say to people that we're going to support our own people, we're going to support this water company because it's a black owned, then we have to do it. Because I'm telling you something, if I become the #1 salesperson in the world, Q, you know what the goal is, my brother?
I can only imagine.
The goal from one standpoint is I coach basketball. I want to have my Bunky Reed All-Stars, my own facility.
Yes.
And if I have that facility, I can give out jobs to people and I can employ people in the community that are good workers. Because don't think that just because you're in the community, we're going to hire you and you don't have good work ethic. No, we're not doing that. So, I don't even know if I can plug this in on here, but I want to say something.
I want to tell you something crazy. I read an article the other day, and I want y'all to hear this good. It said a white felon is considered more hireable than a black man with no
Preach
felony.
on that. Preach on that.
Look at the article. It's not my article. It said that a white felon
Talk about
is
it.
considered more hireable than a black man with no felony. Let's have this logical conversation. And guys, again, anyone knows me knows that I don't preach racism. I'm not racist. I don't entertain those conversations, but I will
right. That's
acknowledge truth, right? When you exposing truth, some people will get in their feelings because they don't want you and I to have these conversations. When enlightening your people, the ones that haven't been awoke yet, they will try to buy into the system that they've been taught. So they're only going to not support you because of the fact that they've been taught to not support you.
That's right.
Nor me, right? Because here's the narrative. There's a saying growing up, and it bothered me since I was a kid. What do we consider? They called black people, they said we're like crabs in a barrel.
Teach on that.
Listen to that statement, a crab in a barrel. What does a crab do to another crab that try to crawl out of a barrel?
Pull them
It
down.
pulls them down. But here's the narrative. A crab is not meant to be in a barrel.
That's right.
But the problem is they put us in barrels, right? Where it's about fighting for the little that you do have to the
Limited
point where,
opportunity.
yes, that we're hurting each other. Not realizing that we stand stronger by being unified. I would rather someone call my culture an ant. An ant will go find food, go back to his village, and then come get the food with his village and bring it back to his village and feed his village.
Preach on it.
That's our problem. We don't see that the power is in unity. They say if you want to go far or you want to go fast, they say go alone.
That's right.
But they say if you want to go far, go with a team.
That's right.
And the reality of all things is we're stronger standing united than we are standing separate. The word separation is ultimately going to be the demise of our people.
That's right.
We've always done things in unities. Here's the narrative. If it's crazy that if you come to my house to fight me, I can choose and call my brothers to fight back for that. But we will not fight a damn bill together. We won't fight bills together. I'm watching Hispanic cultures buy homes in areas that they never would consider really accepted.
That's right.
And they're doing it because they realize that the power is in unity. Unification will change the culture. But the fact of the matter is this man and me is stronger standing next to each other.
That's right.
No matter how old I get, this is my elder.
That's right.
I will always give him his flowers. And the problem is we can't measure age. You got to know this man is your elder no matter how you slice it. What happened to the being uncomfortable cursing around the elders? What happened about respecting Miss Johnson and Mrs. Taylor? What happened to these people?
Preach on it.
But the problem is we want to sit back and keep saying that a culture controls us when they don't control us. Black people have more power than we give light.
That's right.
We have way more power than we give light. But if we keep allowing them to oppress us, they're going to keep oppressing us. And how do you oppress? A mind is by keeping it in an environment that makes you feel too comfortable. And the sad part is that's what happens now. We're in these environments that only procreate negativity, that only procreates trauma, that only procreates generational heart of failures.
That's right.
And this is the reality. We're not educating our children. We're not pushing our brothers. We're not elevating our sisters, right? When I say sisters, I look at white women as my sisters too, black women as my sisters. They're all my people. But the fact of the matter is money should be shared equally. I do not want to get in line and get food, and because I'm black, I get the least amount of food because a white man was ahead of me.
That's right.
When the food is there in abundance, it's unfair. To the point where I got to work harder than the white man because of the fact that I don't have the opportunities for my forefathers because they weren't allowed to create opportunities for me.
Wait, brother. You got to be careful saying it like that. You know why? The passion and the truth. But when you say it like that, somebody going to go, that brother's racist.
Yes.
Because you're identifying another ethnic group. Because I've been there.
Yes.
You're identifying another ethnic group. They're going to go, oh, that brother's being racist. But he's not. So now watch this.
Wow.
Watch this. What I want to do, right? And I don't know if I could plug this in on here.
Yes.
So I want to get donations for my own gym. I want to get donations.
Guys, reach out to me.
So I want to be able to tell Q, this is my Cash App. Let's get donations because what I want to do is I want to have my own gym that I can own and operate and help the black community.
Hear that word though. When he say my own gym, he's gonna lead. He's gonna lead.
Yeah, I'm just leading, but I'm gonna have a team of people.
He means it's for us.
So it's for us.
That's what he means.
It's for us. And then watch this. In our community, we got to understand something. Leadership can only happen by not having big egos.
Oh.
So I'll give you an example of something. When I see people...
He said, say that again. He said, please say that again.
Oh, leadership can only flourish when you don't have big egos.
Agreed.
So now watch this. If I'm the best at coaching basketball, that's what I'm going to lead in.
Yeah.
But if this brother is the best at real estate,
Yes.
I humble myself and I listen to him and he leads in that. And a lot of times what happens is and this is more so with the males. The male ego is so big, man, that people don't understand that. Let me let this brother lead so I can be successful following him.
That's it.
And in our community, that's one of the biggest problems we have, the male ego. So we got to put our egos to the side. We got to stop letting jealousy and envy destroy from within.
Yes.
That's a teaching of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't let jealousy and envy destroy from within. And then we just have to pool our resources together. So I want to say this to you, that we as a people have to unite, and we can't let other people, when we unite, shame us.
Yes.
I got to get real with you right now. Why is it that I can't represent what I am in American society without being vilified? And let me tell you something. I'm one of the nicest people you ever gonna meet. I'm genuine. I share. You don't even know how many cases of water that I just gave out to the community. People don't know that. So the point I want to make to you is that
You just came to my shop and gave it all away.
and all I
You
ask,
just came to my shop and gave a bunch of cases away.
all I ask, let's take pictures.
Yes.
Let me talk to you. And we got deep in the shop, man. That
You
shop.
said something amazing the other day. You said you realize you have to give in order to get.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you said. And it made me smile because I said, he understands. I said, he understands. You know, you're giving. And I'm going to be honest with you. Brother, you've gave a lot of you. I think it's time you get your support.
Check this out.
A lot.
Me and his brother was talking. You know what I said to him? I said, I'm probably the only person that had a basketball team, an AAU basketball team that was free.
Yes.
I started it in 1993.
I played.
It is 2024 now. Add that up. Add that up how many times
It's still free.
I helped and supported the community for over 35 plus years. I didn't even know how I paid for some tournaments. And I supported everyone in the community. I gave people jobs. What I did was, you witnessed people with jobs, right?
Yes.
And I employed everybody in the community, man.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. So now I feel like, and everybody around me tell me this. It's time. It's your time to shine. But you know what they don't realize when they tell me that? When they say it's my time to shine, I laugh in my mind because I say, no, brother, it's our time to shine. It's our time to shine.
He said, say it one more time.
So the brothers say to me all the time, they go, it's my time to shine. They'd be like, Coach, it's your time to shine. You know what I tell them? I think about it in my head and I say, no, brother, it's our time to shine.
Yes.
It's our time to shine.
Yes.
So I'm asking this, because like I said, I don't know how it goes. I'm asking everybody in the Black nation to donate to my cause.
You ain't something crazy? Watch how many white people gonna give it.
They're gonna give it, and I'm gonna break something down to you.
No, but some of them give it because they know it's wrong what's been done to us.
Yeah.
They know it's wrong.
I'm gonna break something down to you. I used to do fundraiser dinners, Bunky Beat All-Stars, fundraiser dinners for people that think that what we're talking about is racist.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you what happened one time. I'll never forget. I was working in the village, and I had started a little basketball tournament. Mm-hmm. Call Place, East Williston, two Westbury teams, a Bunky Beat team, a Westbury Rec team,
yes,
and other teams. And you know what happened? When it was playoff time, the East Williston group, I got to talk on this, because when you try to say something about me, about being racist, if I'm racist, why? And I've always been preaching this. Why did they give me a plaque? I didn't even get a plaque from the Black community. A guy from East Williston came in there. They loved what I was doing. They stopped the whole program.
Yes.
Their whole team came out.
Yes.
And they presented me with a plaque.
Yes.
Come on now.
Because they see the unity that you always spread. And one thing I will say is your message has never shifted. Like my whole life of knowing you, I cannot recall this message ever wavering. And I'm pretty sure he could have been silenced economically. Here, shut up.
Oh man. Come on.
Yeah. But no, it wouldn't serve the mission that he's here to do. in pursuing purpose. You know, a lot of people don't know this about me. I used to work at a Jewish synagogue for years. I worked at a Jewish synagogue called Old Westbury Hebrew Congregation. And when I worked there, I saw a lot of kids would come from school, but then go to Hebrew school. And the whole premise of Hebrew school was to show them and teach them who they are, right? So when I would sit there and watch, I'm like, why am I not being enlightened on who I am? But in the same breath, I'm being forced to believe that Christopher Columbus is a god.
He discovered America.
He discovered America. But I'm like, but here's my narrative. I'm like, but who is Mansa Musa? Why am I learning about Mansa Musa as a grown man?
Come on.
Why am I learning about people that's done immaculate? Let's just go to the Americas that's done great things here, and I'm not being enlightened on who these people are.
Come on.
Right? When I say culture, people say, what are you? I say, I'm a world man. Wherever there's my color, that's me. Whatever believes and thinks like me, that's me. And when I say that, it's like, I believe in the 1804 revolution in Haiti. That's my people. Right? I believe in everything that went across this world to bring equal injustice, right? For fairness.
That's right.
I believe in that, right? And I just believe that more people need to understand that we will never get the respect we deserve until we learn how to respect ourselves. The mentality that we pushing, right, that we talk about is what's really hurting our culture. This music, right? Let's talk about it. The content that we see on media is all about a negative narrative. But the reality of things is blacks have always been stronger when we stood united. That's right. Since the beginning of time. We've done the Tulsa, Oklahomas, the Black Wall Street, they love to say, right? We did that by being unified.
And what happened?
Come on, they burnt that thing to the ground.
And that's unfortunate because when people see black people rising to the top, they want to stop it.
Of course.
I want to piggyback on something that with my Bunky Reed squad. When I used to do the dinners, right, there was a family called the Lavertys.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. They was from East Williston. When I started training one of their sons, let me tell you what they did.
Yes.
They came back with a whole team of people, male and female, and I was training them constantly. They always came to me, and their money was never late. It would be an envelope. Here you go, coach. Here you go, coach. So when I did the Bunky Reed dinner, the Laverty family, the young man is named, and he's older, but the young man is named Jimmy Laverty. His wife's name was Kathy Laverty.
Wow.
So now if I was racist, right, why would they come to my dinners and the father would pay? I used to do the fundraiser, it was a $100 dinner. Every person that came from East Williston gave their $100, and the father would hand me a check for $3,000. Think about that. But you're going to look at me and Q, the boss, and you're going to say, well, we talking about, we racist, we prejudiced. No, we're not. And that's the case, that's the proof in the pudding right there. This is a guy from East Williston. Come on. He didn't have to do that. Let me tell you something. Nobody in my community gave that. Nobody in my community did anything for me. I'm just being real. Nobody. So the point I'm making to you is that when we out here trying to uplift our brothers and sisters in our community,
yes,
we're not being racist. We just want an equal amount of the pie that every other ethnic group has. Like I said, I watched an ethnic group do wonders at the Yes We Can Center.
Yes.
I didn't hate on it.
Yes.
I admired it. I respected it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let you know something. Every ethnic group that's being successful, I admire it. I want to learn from it.
Of course.
I want to teach my people that that's the example that you have to have so we can be successful.
Yes.
So that when you see them and they have a bank, we have a bank.
Yes.
If they have schools to teach their children what they consider the truth, we need to have a school to teach our children what the truth is.
Yes.
So we got to understand, man, help me, help my people. And in return, I'm going to help you and help the entire black nation. That's what I'm going to do.
You know, when we say this, right, it's in all fairness, right, I'm a father.
Yes, sir.
And I have 3 children. And for me, I just want my children to have the equal opportunities.
That's right.
Right? I'm tired of hearing, oh, she's so smart. I think that should be the standard, right?
That's right.
I'm tired of being told or hearing, oh, you talk proper English, that means you talk white.
Okay. Come on with it.
I'm tired of that. I'm so overhearing, you want to live in a white area because you think you're white. I don't believe in that. I believe that I want the same opportunities that those environments are giving their children.
That's right.
That's all I want. I want my children to walk across a college stage and to feel like that's normal. I want my kids to know that there are people that look like them, right? Who understand that there's more to life than fighting in negativity, right? I want them to understand that. But here's the problem. In changing the culture, there will always be people that's going to always have something negative to say. And most people that will have something negative to say is because they have their own agenda.
That's right.
If you're trying to keep a culture deprived, it's because of the fact that you don't want the culture to move forward. In order for us to move forward, we have to unite. And again, we shouldn't only come together when a Sean Bell happens.
That's right.
We shouldn't only come together when what's the guy that was
Floyd.
George Floyd. It doesn't make sense because these are things that shouldn't be happening. For one, I get tired of hearing black people tell black people they shouldn't be police officers. It is more safe for a black person to police a black area than it is for a white guy. And the only reason why I say that is because a white guy who doesn't have the experience of dealing with black culture will not understand me, right? And vice versa for me as a black man. If I don't have the experience of dealing with a white guy, I won't understand them, right? And it's not a racial thing we're talking about.
Not at all.
We're talking about the lack of experience. Exposure, again, leads to expansion. And this young black man understanding that this hyper-aggressive man is because he's passionate about his feelings. I can see a black man yelling and not move because I know that he's not going to do anything.
We talk with our hands.
Yes. But if a person that wasn't exposed to that, oh my God, he's irate, he's yelling because he's very passionate. So again, as simple as that sounds, that's a reality. Right. But again, I've been exposed more to white culture, so I'm learning how they think and how they behave. Initially, I wasn't.
Right.
I was only exposed to more Hispanics and blacks.
That's right.
And at one point, we were separated.
That's right.
And now I'm seeing that it doesn't even make sense that we're separated, right? Because the reality of things, again, unity, power, understanding that we're at the bottom. And in order to move from the bottom, we got to stand up. I want you to say that statement you said in my shop today, what he said about standing up. You said,
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. We must get up and go to work.
What do you mean by, listen, there's no way we can win by sitting down waiting for someone to give us something. That 40 acres and a mule, we have to go get that. We can't sit there talking about give me what I feel like I deserve. And the one thing I have to admit this, and I want everybody in this room to hear this right now. Give me please your undivided for 2 seconds. There's no way people can say that black culture is racist. Blacks do not want white people to go through what they put us through. And there's a limited few that's done that. That's not all white culture, right? But the ones that put us through that, we don't want the same treatment. We just want fairness. I have never met a black man that said, yo, let's put white people in shackles and do the same thing.
Talk about it.
I don't hear people talk like that. I don't know if I'm bugging guys on my live. Am I not right?
Brother. You're right.
I don't want to see white people go through slavery and be whipped and beaten and separated from their families. I don't want to see that. But I do want to see that they allow us to understand that the power is in uniting families again. Give that black man back his freedom because his crime is not even heinous. Weed is legal now. You still have black men incarcerated for marijuana.
Talk about it.
Like, come on, let's have a real fair conversation. Of course, this young black man has problems because psychologically, even since the Willie Lynch letter, they understood how to create a slave. And it's still working to this day.
Check this out, brother. And I always got to say this because, when you make these comparisons and you pinpoint another culture, they're always going to say, oh, that brother's being racist.
Of course.
But I want you to hear me well on this. If you hear a black person say black power, he just want equal opportunity. He ain't going to go lynch nobody.
No.
And I have to say this now.
I love my white siblings and white families and I love it.
Now listen to this. And trust me, just think, man, bear with me. If you hear those guys that stormed the Capitol say white power, if you go around that corner, they're going to kill you.
Yes, you are.
That's the difference. When you hear somebody say white power, they're going to lynch you. When you hear a person say black power and they want black power, they just want an equal opportunity. It's two different mindsets. So I want you to bear with me when I say that because I know somebody's going to say, oh, the brother is being racist. Let me tell you something, man. when I worked in the village of Westbury, any ethnic group that walked through those doors, you know what they got from me? The red carpet treatment.
Respect.
Red carpet. Any ethnic group. And the one thing about me, I could bring receipts. I can go get other cultures to bear witness that Coach Jackson, AKA Minister Shabazz, treated them like gold.
Everyone.
Like gold.
Fair.
So if you see this podcast and anyone's try to say that me and the brother is talking about something that's racist or prejudiced, as Malcolm used to say, you got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind.
Because again, I don't believe in, I don't preach hatred, and I don't talk with a hatred tongue.
That's right.
You know, but I do want to understand that we have to unify our resources in order to pull ourselves up. You know, and I want to say this from a real estate standpoint. I'm watching all the homes for the most part, because again, once you're not exposed to wealth and understanding how to build wealth, 90% of about millionaires come through real estate, right?
That's right.
But now if I don't give you the opportunity to purchase real estate because you have a bunch of hedge funds and private equity funds buying up all the real estate. Why? Because they're trying to make us renters. And it's sad because, you know, how do I build wealth? My rights to being an American citizen, I should have a right to buy land and own stake of it, right? And that's just the reality. But again, by talking like this, it's gonna sound like I'm being racist myself, but in reality, I'm not.
That's right.
Because I do know that there are a lot of white people that need this knowledge also. They're financially illiterate also, and vice versa for Spanish. I think everyone should have their fair share, or at least an opportunity to acquire, and I say the word acquire with conviction, your fair share. I don't think because my father was poor, I have to die poor. Right. I don't think that's fair, especially when I was willing to make the sacrifices and work hard. I don't think it's fair, and that's just what it is. You know, I don't want to have to look for another culture to hire me. And if they don't, let me say that one more time. I don't want to have to look for another culture to hire me because that culture might not see me as hireable. Let's just say if I'm a felon, right? I'm a felon. That is one of the most least desirable things that a person can be in America, because why? They say you're considered 3/5 of a man.
Come on.
3/5. That means I'm not really a human. So my natural mistake that I've made, right? A mistake. I'm going to be held to that standard for the rest of my life. But I also have a family to feed. Give me another narrative. If I'm a felon and I buy a home and I'm a taxpayer, I can't protect my family with a pistol because of the fact that I made a mistake when I was 19, 20 years old. How unfair is this? And we just have to have a logical conversation. I think in reality is what my brother is saying is we have to unite our resources before we start integrating with others, because we have to be a powerhouse. Right? In order for, again, if you come to my house and you're the first person in line to get food, I'm looking at you like, you didn't even bring nothing. I think you should wait till the ones that brought something to eat first.
Brother, you just sparked,
you just
sparked something in me. Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I want everybody to pay attention to this very carefully. Let's just say, right? This just, in any community, you have a neighbor, right? And as a child, the neighbor's children come out with a bike.
Yes.
Right? And your child comes out there and don't have a bike.
Yes.
And then your child starts begging that child, "Can I ride your bike?" They might let him ride a couple of times, but it's going to get to the point we're going to say, "Man, you can't get your own bike?" That's the same scenario when it comes to us as adults.
Agreed.
When you become a grown man or a grown woman, you leave the nest. You leave the house because why? You want your own house. So what we're saying to you today, and I want you to bear with me, please. Black people, we have jobs in the dominant society, and we need to work them and we need to keep them. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna come a time when black people have to separate ourselves so that people can respect us and see us with owning things.
Yes.
And not begging, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, it's a shame for black people in 2024 to raise our children and they gotta go beg another ethnic group for a job.
Agreed.
That creates conflict, and that's why a lot of times we get into fighting. In the 60s, why you think everybody got water hosed? Why you think it was so much fighting back then? Because as black people, we try to integrate ourselves into somebody else's establishment, and they say, no, get your own. Get your own. So we want to teach you today. We want to teach you to understand that even when Elijah Muhammad said that the black man and the black woman must separate themselves from other ethnic groups, he wasn't preaching hate. He was trying to get black people to understand to do what other ethnic groups are doing.
Agreed.
Do for self and kind. Do for self and kind. Be independent. And he used to preach this all the time, and this is something that resonated in my mind. The conflict is because this man got $100. He worked hard all week for it. I don't have no money, and I come say, yo, brother, can I get 50 of that? And I've been sitting on the couch
Chilling.
at my girlfriend's house, right? Not working, she's working. And then I want to come ask this brother, can I get $50? He's gonna look at you like you're crazy because he's gonna say, the same effort I went out there and I put in to get that money, you gotta do the same thing. So that's why I'm begging you, support me in my efforts. I'm gonna make it work for all of our people. Trust me when I tell you that. We need our own gym, and when I get that own gym, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. You're gonna see amazing things happen. I have my own gym. I have a black-owned water company that I put the water in there. No other water can go in there. That's not me being racist. That's me trying to build generational wealth so that the black nation can get free. I'm gonna die. You ain't gonna see me. But Tupac said this: I want to spark the brain in our people like a spark plug. I'm gonna be gone and dead, but I want to spark the brain with a spark plug so that next generations can get free. That's what Tupac said. And all you rappers out there, while you talking about disrespecting the black woman, you talking about her doing certain things for you, yes. And you women, the women that's rapping, always talking about getting money, and how you getting money is because you got a fatty. How you getting money is because you got a body now. That's not teaching our young sisters how to be queens. No. The brothers, when you disrespecting a black woman, you know what you're doing? You're disrespecting your future. You're disrespecting the entire black nation because through that black woman's womb is going to generate the future of the black nation. 100%. So we got to preach on that. And like I said, we are not spewing any kind of hate. What we're doing is we're trying to let the black man and the black woman get a piece of that American pie. Yes. And if you don't want us to get a piece of that American pie, you're the one that's racist. You're the one that's prejudiced. You can't look down the anal of time in history that you could see a black person or the black nation oppressing someone outside of their ethnic group.
Yes.
Talk to me.
I can't name one time.
History is best qualified to reward all research. Because when you know history, you know the history of everything.
Yes.
If you study mathematics, there's a history behind mathematics.
Agreed.
If you study history, there's a history behind history. If you study science, there's a history behind science. So that's why we say, as followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, history is best qualified to reward all research.
So history has receipts. So again, we have to be able to see that it's never been that case. But the harsh reality, in order to fix our culture, we have to acknowledge that we have to work together and unify. Because the way the world is being set up right now is only trickling down further and further, and we're economically being removed from the board of life. Financially, we're beyond oppressed, and we're limited with our opportunities, because by limited opportunities, you basically create an environment of oppression. And oppression also rhymes with a word called depression.
Talk about it.
And a lot of people that are oppressed are depressed.
Mental health issues.
Yes. So the reality of all things is if I can't provide what I should naturally be able to provide as a man or as a woman, what will be my next options?
Crime.
Yes. And that's a harsh reality. So by that crab in a barrel mentality that we talked about earlier, this is how you create it, by lacking the opportunities.
You know what, brother?
Yeah.
I almost forgot something, but I'm glad that I got it back. This is heavy. Watch this. In our communities, right? Just say, it's the Westbury Green Dragons. Yes. They go to Carl Place, right? To compete in a basketball game. What do they want to do? They want to win.
They want to win.
If you take Hempstead and they go over to Oceanside and they compete in a basketball game, what do they want to do? They want to win. If you take Uniondale and they go over to Wheatley and they compete in a basketball game, what do they want to do? They want to win. Why don't the black nation want to win economically? Yes. Make it a fun thing. In our community, let's look at other ethnic groups and say, yo, wow, they building up industry.
Yes.
Let's have a contest.
Let's win fair.
Let's try to catch them.
Beat them fair.
Let's try to have a hospital like they got a hospital.
Yes.
Let's try to have a school like they have a school. Let's try to have a bank like they got a bank. That's real freedom.
I would love to see an LIB.
Come on.
You know, you got the LIJ. I would love to see that.
Come on.
And I'm being honest with you. In all fairness, we have too many prominent people. We talked about it, but I'm not going to say the names of the particular people. But we make a lot of money from athletes.
Come on.
And a lot of black athletes make millions and millions and millions of dollars. But the one thing he said to me the other day that stood out to me, he said they bought into a system. And the system basically taught them not to go back and help.
That's right.
The villages that they come from, right? Giving out a couple of T-shirts and all these things. You talking about you made $80 million this year, $30 million this year, $20 million this year. You know what $1 million facility could do for an environment that doesn't have any hope? The lack of hope, it gives the lack of opportunity. Again, how do I know how to study if I'm not taught how to study? I genuinely believe that blacks need the same thing as the Hebrew schools have, like what the Jews have. Right. We need that same thing. Where my child can go fellowship and be taught that you are a powerful queen, you're a powerful king. It's nothing wrong. They think the same thing. But if I say that I'm racist because I think my daughter should view herself as a powerful young black queen.
Come on.
That little Spanish girl should see herself as a young black queen.
That's right.
That little Jewish kid should see herself as a young black queen too. But if I say that, I'm wrong. Why is that? Because the people that are racist are making you believe that we're racist by enlightening you to who you should be following or believing.
That's right, brother.
And that's the truth. But before we get out of here today, I want to make sure you got anything else to say before we get out of here. Man, today you got me hot, man.
Let me tell you something, man. I want everybody to understand something. And I'm going to show you how much of a person of, how honorable I am when it comes to everyone. We wanna do a basketball tournament, right? And invite every ethnic group to it.
Yes.
And if you say, right, that you want to help black people, you say that you're not racist, we can do a basketball tournament and invite every ethnic group and raise the money so that I can take that money and build up the black community. So now watch this. We need to have a tournament with every ethnic group.
Let's do it.
Right? Every ethnic group. And raise the money to help the black community. And at that tournament, we're gonna sponsor the drinks through Your Water. Because I just put on my IG page and Facebook, we want Your Water and me to be the top salesperson in the world to be the official sponsor for youth sports throughout America. We want Your Water to be the sponsor for youth sports throughout America. How can I get that done? Because I can't give everything for free all the time.
No.
You have to, I'm giving stuff out, right? You have to back us up so we can make this the best water company in the world. A black queen runs it. So now watch this. If you try to say I'm racist and everybody don't want to support this brand from other ethnic groups, who is the real racist? Think about it.
100% facts. If you think about
what's that thing you say?
Exposure leads to expansion.
But the end part, when you finish.
Don't let that go over your head.
Say it again, brother.
Don't let that, listen, the message is in the statement. If y'all don't realize that you being taught to work against your own, someone just wrote something on his live. I have to say this comment. He said, it's in their contracts not to help our own kind.
Come on.
And the way it looks like it looks like it. You know, I respect it, giving out, little youth clinics and showing your face in the park while you play ball. I respect it. I respect you go catch a couple passes with the athletes. I respect it, right? But the reality of all things is those athletes wouldn't be in the positions if we don't support them. Michael Jordan hasn't dunked a basketball in 1,000 years.
Jordan's number one.
He's still number one. So with that being said, Michael Jordan will not be Michael Jordan if we don't support him.
Come on.
Right? I'm pro LeBron James. And I'm going to say this on any platform. I'm pro LeBron James.
That's right.
Because I love how he cares about our community.
That's right.
He told that man to shut up and dribble. He said, I am more than an athlete. I am more than an athlete. I am a black man first.
That's why you're the king.
I'm a man. And my community is being deprived if I shut up and dribble. I'm a voice of the people. And we got to start voicing to our people and elevating our positioning by working together and understand that it's not about the war that's on racism. It's on the fact that we're systematically being oppressed. Systematically. Let me say before you get out of here.
Yeah, check this out. So years ago when I was at my establishment at 10 to 12 states, I said this. And bear with me because I know how people are going to think. I had said that if we get all the black billionaires, right? Watch this. Because people are going to say, oh, why would you want to do this? I said, we need our own black basketball league. We need our own black football league. We need our own black baseball league. Because why should it be that we're in leagues making other ethnic groups rich and we getting crumbs? If you could pay these athletes, the owners can play these athletes $250 million. LaMelo Ball got $250 million or $40 million. Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey. We need y'all to be the ones that own these franchises.
Of course.
We need y'all to own it. So now watch this.
They make money off our gifts.
Imagine this. If we started an all-black basketball league, we'll put the NBA out of business. Because you already know, we the ones flying and getting the name Michael Jordan, Air Jordan. If we did that, they would be out of business.
Look at the Commanders, NFL team, Washington Redskins, initially. We finally got a black, finally? That was considered the boys club.
I don't even, my brother.
Boys club.
I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't want black coaches.
Yes.
I want black owners. I don't want black coaches. Yes. So now, Stephen A. Smith show or Shannon Sharp show or all these shows, right? They're always talking about, oh man, wow. Yeah, we finally got a black NFL coach. Oh man, wow, we got more than ever now. That's because your mentality is to be a consumer and not be a boss. I'm here to tell you that if we're the ones bringing in all the money, the owners should be black. I don't want to be a ball player no more. I want to be an owner. And we have to teach our children that. Even though Ahmad is good in sports and in basketball, of course, I want him to be a pro. But trust me, I'm telling them also, after you get all that money, we're going to be an owner of a franchise. So we can make the decisions, we can be the boss, and we can flood money throughout our community and buy up the block.
100%.
Buy up the block.
Listen, before we get out of here, guys, I want you guys to keep up with them. Tell them where they can keep up with you and find you at.
Yes, sir.
And also make sure you give another shout out to the water that you actually, pushing heavy, guys. He's out here putting a lot of traction on his water. I'm all into it. You see, it's all over the podcast. I'm supporting. I got boxes, right? I got boxes with
That's
S.
Right. That's right.
Right. So tell them where they can support you and everything.
Yes. So, like I said, I'm on IG, and the crazy thing about it was when I was preaching before, it was so controversial. My IG said, my name, Khalif Shabazz, or it had Mike Jack 44. My Instagram, my Facebook had Khalif Shabazz. I had to take it down in fear of people going against me. So I changed it and said, my Instagram is Ahmad the God 2030. It's pretty much a shared Instagram where I promote my son. And then also my Facebook is, I think it's either Tribe of Shabazz. It's Ahmad the God, Tribe of Shabazz. Because that's the tribe that I'm from. So Facebook is Ahmad the God, Tribe of Shabazz. And Instagram is Ahmad the God 2030. And I will have on, what I'm going to do now for those people that want to be generous and donate, I'm going to always have my Cash App up there. Now watch this. I ain't asking for a lot. How many black people is in America?
Oh my God.
Probably about 50 to 60 billion. Is it billion or million?
Millions. I think it's
I'm
millions.
sorry.
We're in the millions, right? I know we 14 to 16% of cop.
It's in the millions, right? Yeah. So watch this. If every black person in America
gave $1,
gave me $1, what's that? Add that up, Q.
Even if you say, let's say we 16 million people, that's $16 million right there.
To build
facilities.
You
for
can
put facilities in every major city with that $16 million.
Let me tell you something. I want to say this too. You're looking at the number, and I'm not doing this with an ego. I'm just preaching the facts because people come up and tell me this. So brothers and sisters, this ain't an ego right here. People come up and tell me, they say, Coach, you are the best mentor in the world. That's what they tell me.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
I'm saying that. Look, I'm saying it wholeheartedly. You're one of the very first people I ever met that planted more seeds and never expected nothing but them person to become their best version of themselves.
That's right.
That's the best mentor. When a person it's subconscious. It's like, it's not even about me. It's about you becoming the best version of you. That is the greatest mentor. And I'm giving you those flowers.
Thank you, brother. And my last statement is, I want to say this. All athletes, get with me. I will help you because I'm probably one of the top recreation directors in the world.
Yes.
All athletes from every sport, get with me. I will show you how to give back to your community. What I will do is I will come and listen to this. I won't even tell you to pay me. I'll do it free of charge. You could decide what you want to give me. I will show you how to set up recreation centers in your community and how to rock and roll so that we can get our people off the streets. Stop. Can I stand up, brother?
Of course.
Stop our young brothers from walking out there sagging their pants. You will never see Ahmad sagging his pants. I will show you how to go in your community and build it up and build up a recreation center that will save the lives of our people. Because I've been doing that for 35 plus years.
Yes.
That's what I want to tell you. Support me. Support me. And I promise you, you won't regret it.
So guys, for everybody that tuned in today, I want to thank you. And I want to give my brother his flowers. You know, man, this is an honor.
Thank you.
And I'm going to keep saying it. It's an honor, you know, because the last time I probably saw you, I probably was getting in trouble. You know, but life comes full circle, guys. And this is a full circle moment for me to be able to sit down with my original mentor. And this is not going to be the only time we're going to do this. We're going to definitely come again and do another time. You know, I love the interview. I definitely think this is very much so needed. And again, this is not about preaching hate or racism. It's actually preaching unity.
Yes, sir.
Right? And understanding that we have to help those that are more so in need, so therefore we can help people that are in need, right? So the ones that are well off are doing better. In order to help the ones that aren't, we got to help them. The misinformed are the misinformed. In order to help the misinformed, we have to inform them. The ones that don't have the knowledge, we have to give them the knowledge, right? You cannot change what you cannot see is wrong. You know, we can't keep putting a Band-Aid on a wound that needs surgery. This is a major issue that we talked about today, a major issue. Guys, this might need a couple of surgeries to get this issue fixed. Right?
And brother, I forgot. Yeah. We want to plug in. We have a big event. It's the crowning event of Black History Month.
Yes.
We have a big event. And what it is that I do a lot of basketball stuff. So it's going to be a two-part. It's going to be giving out awards to all my alumni players.
Yes.
And we're going to say who are the top 10 Bunky Reed All-Stars of all time.
Yes.
Then we're going to go, who are the top players by position of all time?
Yes.
And then what we're going to do, this brother's going to open up and talk about what he's going to do. I'll probably have 2 more speakers. And this is going to be on February 24th.
Yes.
From 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock at the Yes We Can Community Center. Yes. And I'm going to tell you what I need from you. I'm going to have over 100 cases of water. You want to support a black brand that's excellent?
Yes.
When you go to their website or you go to their IG, it's pure perfection. It's not no rinky-dink thing. You want to support that? You want to support Ahmad the God? Come there in droves. We ask for a donation of $50 when we're at the events. But normally I do the cases for $36. It's 12 in a bottle. It's 12 in a case. They're this size though. We're gonna try to put in production the smaller sizes, but they're this size. Yes. If you come there or you want to donate to the cause, my Cash App is $Minister Shabazz. And I'm telling you,
say it again.
Minister Shabazz. And I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, it might be Minister Khalif Shabazz. I can't even remember, but it's one of them. And I want to tell you something. And everybody knows this. I got the receipts for it. When you bless me, I'm gonna bless everybody.
I'm living
everybody.
Proof. I'm living proof of it. Yeah, I know I don't get on this podcast and do this. Everyone that knows me, I don't talk untruth.
That's right.
I'm living proof to what he's saying. He invested in me years ago. He kept feeding me knowledge, and I used to go in ISS. Let me just say this before we get out of here. ISS is in-school suspension.
That's right.
And in my initial life, I was very bad and very disruptive, very unhappy, very miserable in a sense, right? And this man always spoke to me with love, with respect, with integrity. I remember one time he said to me, "Man, today's a good day. You alive, brother." I said, "Ain't nothing good about today." And then he went to me and said, "You alive." Looking back to the blessing of being alive, right? Rather than getting in trouble, he said to me, I should be working hard to help my mom. He said, getting in trouble ain't helping my mom.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
And this is how he would talk to me. And it couldn't register at the moment, but looking back now, my mother went from saying, I don't like the man you are, to I adore the man you've become.
Talk about it.
And this man definitely played a major part in that, to how I am with you guys, to my guys and on my platform. He helped me become that.
That's right. He's
definitely played a major, if I wrote a book today, he would have to be in the book.
Come on.
He would have to be, unless I'm leaving a big piece of it out. So I just want you guys to support this man, understand that I support this man. And I pray to God that he keeps supporting this man and keep this man alive longer so more can hear his mouth and hear the things he has to say, because he definitely gonna help us move the culture forward. Because this man, 30 plus years of saying the same thing. He knew this 30 something years ago.
That's right.
Wow.
And
woo!
Brother, you do that segment where you say, you want to give somebody flowers.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, I gotta give you your flowers, because statistically, you should be a dead man.
I should.
So I gotta give you your flowers.
I appreciate it.
For stepping up to the plate and being a role model in your community and building a platform that you can help our people.
Wow.
So I got to give you your flowers. I don't know if you can hit it. Can you hit it for me? Whatever it is, give yourself some flowers, brother. Because statistically, you should be a dead man. But you have resurrected yourself, and now you are alive.
Wow. Guys, I appreciate everybody. I'm tearing, man. I'm being honest with you. We ain't gonna cry on live. You ain't gonna get me like that. But again, till next time, guys, don't let that go over your head.